Hello friends, welcome to my channel Mathematics Solutions. This is the part 2 of chapter 8, Introduction to Trigonometry. So let's start. In the previous video I explained you the 6 trigonometric ratios. The 6 trigonometric ratios are sine. Here if we take the triangle, right angle triangle as A, B, C, and if we consider the acute angle A, then the side opposite to angle A is called as opposite side to angle A or perpendicular, and side adjacent to angle A is called adjacent side to angle A or base, and this is a hypotenuse. In the previous video I explained you the 6 trigonometric ratios as sin A, cos A, tan. Here A can be any angle. We can also denote the angle A as theta. Here theta is the Greek symbol which is used to denote the angle, and it can have any value like 0, 30 degree, 45, 60 degree, 90 degree, etc. So we can also write theta instead of angle A here. Tan, secant, cosecant. These are our 6 trigonometric ratio. Here I want to explain you that the sin A is an abbreviated form of the term sin, and cos A is the short form of the term cosine, and tan is called as tangent, and cot is the abbreviated form of cotangent. Similarly, secant is the abbreviated form of secant A. We will also write the angle with this term. Cosecant is the abbreviated form of cosecant A. These are the short form that we used in the day-to-day calculations, and these are the abbreviated form of sine, cosine, tan is of tangent, cot is of cotangent, secant is of secant, and the cosecant is of cosecant. Here student, please note one thing, that sin A does not mean that sin A is the product of the term sin and A, because if we separate sin and A, then the term sin has no meaning, is of no meaning. Similarly, the rest of 5 trigonometric ratios are not the product of cos and A, tangent and A, because if we separate these terms, then these terms in itself has no meaning without these angles. So we will not separate them, or we will not consider sin A as the product of sin and A. Now student, we will find the relationship between the trigonometric ratios. Relationships between the trigonometric ratios of an angle. If you remember from the previous video, we find that the sin A, both the sin A and cosecant A are the inverse of each other, and similarly tan A and cot A are the inverse of each other, and cos and secant are inverse of each other. So this is the relation between these trigonometric ratios. From these formulas we can derive another formula, but these formula are also very useful, so we need to remember all these formulas, because we have to use later on in the exercises to solve different trigonometric problems. So from here we can find that if we multiply cosecant with sin A here, or you can say if we write 1 here and cross multiply them, then this formula will become sin A cosecant A. Here we have put the dot to denote the multiplication, then this will be equal to 1. Similarly tangent A and cot A is equal to 1. Cos A then multiply with secant A is equal to 1. So whenever in the question these two terms are multiplied, or in multiplication, we can write 1 in place of these terms, and also 1 in place of tan A multiplied with cot A. And also in the question sometime we have to write 1 by cosecant A in place of sin A. So please remember all these formula, or we can say that cosecant A is equal to 1 upon sin A, because these are inverse of each other. So when we write cosecant A is here, then it is equal to sin A. Similarly if I write cot A is equal to here, then it will be equal to 1 upon tan A, because all these are inverse of each other. Students, in my first video on this chapter and in this video I have already explained you the formulas that are used to solve the questions of exercise 8.1. So for the next exercise I will explain the next formulas in the next video. So now let's do the exercise 8.1, question number 1, so that you can learn how we will apply. Let's solve question number 1 of exercise 8.1. Question number 1 is in triangle ABC, right angled at B. AB is equal to 24 cm, BC is equal to 7 cm. We have given the lengths of two sides. Determine sin A and cos A. We have to find the value of angle of sin A and cos A, and in the second part of sin C and cos C. So first of all we have to draw a right angle triangle which is right angled at B. Let it be A and this is C. A, B, C. Here we have given the side AB as 24 cm and BC as 7 cm. In the part 1 we have to find the value of sin A and cos A. So we will consider the triangle in this way. We will take the acute angle as A. So if I take the acute angle as A, then this side will be our perpendicular, BC will be perpendicular and AB will be base. And if you write A here, let's suppose I write A here and C here. Then the opposite sides to angle A is equal to BC, and then this will be our perpendicular and this side will be base. So here we have taken the point A and here C. In this way you can rotate to find the different values of the trigonometric ratios. So here in for first part, in right angled triangle ABC, we have given the two sides, we have to find the third side, means the hypotenuse. So how we can find the third side? By applying the Pythagoras theorem. By Pythagoras theorem we have. Now what is the Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the other two smaller sides of the triangle, that is base square plus perpendicular square. Here hypotenuse is equal to AC and base is equal to, if we consider the angle A, then base is equal to AB square and perpendicular is equal to BC. So AB is equal to 24 square and 7 square. Now square of 24 is 576 and square of 7 is 49. If we add them, 6 and 9 15, 7 and 4 11 and 1 12 and 5 and 1 6. So we get 625. If you don't remember the square of 24, then you can find by my short trick method. Here first of all multiply it, 4 4 is 16, and then cross multiply and add them and add the carry digit in between them. So 4 2 is 8, 4 2 is 8, 8 and 8 16, 16 and 1 carry 17. Again 1 is the carry, and then multiply the tens digit number and add the carry digit. 2 2 is 4 and 1 5. So you can easily find the square of double digit number in this way. Now AC square is equal to 625, but we have to find the value of side AC. Therefore square root of 625 will be the length of the side, third side of the triangle, and we know that square of 625 is 25. Square root of 625 is 25. You can find it by prime factorization or by long division method. Therefore the side AC is equal to 25 centimeter. Now we have to find the value of first part, sin A. As I told you, we are considering the acute angle as A. So this is, we will rotate the triangle in this way, and this is our perpendicular. And if you remember the formula that the basic formula that I told you, पंडित बद्री प्रसाद हर हर बोले सोना चांदी तोले, then this is the value of sine and this is the cos and this is the tan. So the value of sine is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Here the perpendicular is 7 corresponding to angle A, and hypotenuse we have obtained as 25. Similarly, the value of cos A is equal to base upon hypotenuse. Here the base is AB, means 24, and hypotenuse is 25, the side 25. Similarly, you can find the second part. For the second part, you don't need to apply the Pythagoras theorem again, because we already have found the three sides. We just have to write the value of sin C and cos C. Now for sin C, we will take the triangle in this way. we are considering the angle C here. So the side opposite to it is the perpendicular side, and the side adjacent to it the base of the given triangle. So sin C was, the value of sin was perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Here perpendicular is, if we consider C, then this is the opposite side, and perpendicular is AB upon hypotenuse AC. AB is 24 centimeter and AC is equal to 25. Similarly, value of cos C is equal to base upon hypotenuse. Here the base is BC and hypotenuse is AC. So the value of base is 7 and hypotenuse is 25. So we have find the value of sin A and cos A, and in the similar way value of sin C and cos C. You just need to rotate the angle, for which we have asked to find the values of the given trigonometric ratio. So I hope you understand the first question of exercise 8.1. In the next video we will explain the next question after question number 1, and also explain the formulas that we will use to solve the next question of the next exercise. Thank you so much.